Welcome to Satsang. Here's Tosh.
What is the most important thing in your life?
There's only one thing that's important in life, and that's love. Nothing else is important. But unfortunately, human beings put a lot of things before love, and it's a huge mistake. The true jewel of consciousness is love, and everything that should be done for it. Because when you have love, you can be happy. When you don't have love, you can't be happy. When you have love, you take care of everyone you meet. When you don't have love, you take care of yourself. And all the misery in the world comes from selfishness. And all the joy in the world comes from love. The most important thing in this life is love.
What does putting love first in your life look like on a day-to-day basis?
In my life, it looks like I'm in service to every human being I meet. It looks like I'm in service to every dog I meet, because I love dogs too. And I love every human I meet. My life is a life of service. And it is so beautiful, incredibly beautiful, because love is present. Love affects my mind in such a way that I just want to take care of everyone.
Is that how love affects everyone?
I don't know. Why don't you find out for yourself? I know how the lack of love affects people. Not good.
There's a lot of evidence of that in the world.
There is.
When you meet someone, can you tell if they have love in their lives?
Yes, you can feel it around them. It's an energy field. If they're not in touch with love, you can feel that. As a matter of fact, whatever they're in touch with, if you're sensitive, you can feel it. And so someone who's in touch with love has the feeling of love around them. It is beautiful to be in their presence. I first experienced that in the presence of my spiritual master, Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. He was a heart teacher. He taught people how to find heart, which is the only thing worth teaching.
I understand that you've met a few enlightened masters and teachers in your life, and you've studied many.
You've lost your mind.
What does love have to do with enlightenment?
Not much, except that the mind has to be prepared to support enlightenment. And that means unconditional surrender to truth or God or beingness, whatever you want to call it. In my experience, that only occurs because love is present. In love, the mind becomes willing to surrender itself. Otherwise, it doesn't, because it's a survival mechanism. So there is a connection between love and enlightenment. Love is the doorway to enlightenment. Okay?
Is that why many of the well-known sages, like the Buddha, Osho, they were in service to people?
If someone is awake and they're not in service to humanity, they're not awake. It's that simple. Because if you're awake, you're wide open and you are experiencing love a lot, if not all the time. And you just want to help people. And you look around and you see that your family, your friends, your colleagues, everyone you know is suffering in ego-based reality. And you just want to help them get free. And so all those awakened ones are in service. If they are not awakened. It's simple.
Coming back to the most important thing, when did you get to the point in your life where you felt that you couldn't turn away from your pursuit of truth or love and that you had to just keep going?
Uh, 1987, long time ago.
What happened?
Oh, I've told the story so many times. I was lost at sea in a runabout 60 miles off the coast of Geraldton. The boat had sunk. I was being circled by sharks. There was absolutely no chance that I was going to survive. It was in the middle of a cyclone. There was 30-foot swells crashing over what was left of the boat every 5 minutes. And I was there with my girlfriend. I'd taken her out to meet a boat at the Abrolhos, missed it, gone through the Abrolhos Islands and got to the other side. And I looked over at my girlfriend and then I saw that she was going to die, as I was going to die. And I felt so much regret. And in that moment, an openness occurred in me. And I felt unconditional love for the first time in my life. I was 33 years old. It changed my life immensely. Within 9 months of that happening, I'd walked into my companies and handed them over to my staff. Everything, even the furniture. Took my shoes off and basically walked around Australia for the next 4 years looking for my heart, because I realised it was the only thing that was valuable here, that everything else was tinsel. And I was well-to-do. I was a successful person. I'd already retired. But nothing is worth anything here except love.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or any statements or anything at all they'd like to chat about? Yes, at the back there.
What was the most unusual aspect that you've experienced after being enlightened? Something that you didn't know that you would experience given how much prior knowledge you had?
The most unusual experience was that I wasn't there anymore as an I. That there could be walking, but there was nobody walking. There could be talking, but there was nobody talking. It was really, really odd because I hadn't experienced that so profoundly ever before. In the presence of some of my awake teachers, I had experienced it, but in an ongoing manner, all day long, every day, it was odd. There's nobody here to this day 24 years later. Okay. Hello.
My mom is there for the first time.
Is she?
Yeah, her name is Liz. She woke up at 5 a.m. to meet her.
What's her name?
Liz?
Liz. Oh, hello. Yeah, I can see you waving. Yeah, you have a wonderful son. He's a beautiful man. Welcome, Liz. Hello.
You've spoken about when you don't accept things in other people. One example for me is like when people are really like psyched up or something like that, that I kind of cringe. And you say that that's somewhere that I haven't shown up inside myself with love and
Yeah.
accepted.
That's right.
I was wondering, did you ever practice, did you go straight away internally and look to show up, or did you sometimes like try and soften towards like the person or the thing that you were kind of closed towards?
No, my process was an internal process. What was happening on the outside was irrelevant. What was happening inside of me was important. I was looking at that and seeing, why was I closed? What belief systems came into play that supported that closure? And then I'd go about undoing those belief systems. What's happening out here is irrelevant. What's happening inside you for the seeker is more important. The inward adventure. Okay?
Thank you.
Hello?
Hi, everyone. You said that the boat was sinking and you saw your girlfriend unconscious and you felt
She wasn't unconscious, she just made that up.
When you saw your girlfriend, you felt the regret.
Yeah. Because I knew she was going to die. I also knew I was going to die. There wasn't any chance. It was a miracle that we were saved.
Was there no guilt feeling?
I haven't created guilt in my life since I was a very little boy. When I realized that the Roman Catholic brothers that I was boarding with used guilt and fear to control me, I started examining fear and I started examining guilt because I didn't like the idea of being controlled. And so I rejected fear and I rejected guilt. But I didn't reject regret. I felt sincerely sorry that I had taken her out and risked her life. And it somehow opened me up in that moment to a degree where I experienced unconditional love. Guilt is where you beat yourself up. When I was a kid, the world was doing that enough of that to me. I didn't need to help. Anything else?
Yes. So I wanted to know, I feel guilty many times in my life. So is it like the regret, if I keep on going, feeling it, does that become guilt somewhere? Or it's a totally different thing?
It's a totally different thing. You have to examine guilt, by witnessing your mind, make a decision never to support it, and don't support it. It's something you were programmed to do, probably by your parents, to feel guilty so they could control you, or maybe by your church, I don't know. But it's absolute rubbish. We don't have to have guilt in our lives. We don't have to beat ourselves up. We can accept ourselves as we are, faulty, because we're all faulty. But there's nothing wrong with feeling sincerely sorry for whatever we've been involved in, which is regret. It's different than guilt. In regret, you don't beat yourself up. In guilt, you beat yourself up. So in guilt, you wound yourself. In regret, you don't. As a matter of fact, regret is a heart opener. Guilt is a heart closer. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Sometimes I think that I'm open, but then I notice some degree of tension in my body. So some might not be. How do I go about finding out what closes me?
So my process was simple. I just was witnessing my mind. And I used my body as a tell. If there was any tension in my body anywhere, I knew that my mind was closed somewhere. It was a tell. Now, if the body is totally relaxed, the mind is probably totally open. You have a look and see for yourself.
So there would be a belief system or a non-acceptance somewhere.
Not necessarily. It could be a defense system that you developed before you were able to think as a baby, as a child. But it's there to protect you from feeling something, but now it's in the way. It's in the way of heart. It's an obstacle now. All defense systems are in the way of heart. Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, just on that, with those unconscious closures that you might have developed as a baby, for example, was it just simply witnessing the mind that you were able to uncover those, or was there anything else you did to?
No, witnessing the mind will do. If you witness the mind and you develop detachment from it and you get to see all its little operations. It's not about thinking, it's not about rationalizing, it's simply about watching. You just watch the mind like you'd watch a wild animal to see what it does. If you witness the mind, your consciousness levels go up. If all you do is think about what you see, your consciousness levels stay the same. Higher consciousness is totally related to witnessing the mind. Anything else? Hello.
What does the ego get out of harsh self-judgment?
Out of what?
Harsh self-judgment.
I think it's just a habit we develop. First of all, we've got something outside of us that is a bully, that punishes us for our behavior in some way. Maybe a parent, maybe a teacher, maybe a sibling. Something punishes us when we get it wrong. And at some point, we internalize the bully. We take that role. And so a part of us does something wrong or is perceived as wrong. And this other part that is the bully starts to beat it up to bring it into line. It's like a negative motivator. The only thing is, it doesn't work. It damages you. What works is self-acceptance and self-love. That works. And when you can self-accept all the faults you find in yourself, and if you really look, you'll find plenty, you don't have a problem with the world. What you don't accept in yourself, you won't accept out here.
So is it a case of bringing acceptance to the bullying parts?
You begin anything that you see, you begin with acceptance. My process was to not entertain the bully. As soon as it was noticed, no entertainment of it, though it was accepted because it was there, but it wasn't entertained. I wasn't about to beat myself up. The world was already doing a fair bit of that for me. Okay?
So you did that with worry, where you just stopped it every time. You
Yep.
noticed it. Is that the same?
I just stopped it every time. I refused to run guilt on myself.
And that's the same with the bully?
Well, guilt is a bully. You're running guilt on yourself, you're bullying yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. Higher consciousness has a foundation. That foundation is self-acceptance. If you have a bully inside of you that is punishing you when you get it wrong, you're lacking self-acceptance. There's a fault there. The foundation is corrupt, and you can't build higher consciousness on a faulty substructure.
Where does the belief systems which back up the bullying come into that process?
They might not be there, and they might be there, but they might not be there. You might have just copied your parents or your school teachers or your sibling. Wherever you got bullied from, you may have just taken that role on. There might not be a belief system in it.
It seems strange to me that we do that to ourselves when it's so self-evidently bad for us.
Doesn't seem strange to me because I grew up in a Roman Catholic boarding school where they used bullying or to make me feel guilty to control me. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. It was the way they controlled me, with fear of being beaten and guilt. But I did not want to be controlled, so I went against it and I watched it and I watched it and I watched it and I refused to serve fear and I refused to serve guilt. I just wouldn't buy it. So I can thank the Roman Catholic Church for that. I became my own best friend. Hello.
Hello. I consider there's
Your mind is just gone. Let go. Hello.
Hello, Vishrant. What I notice is in Satsang, your presence, it's like it annihilates my mind.
Yeah, well, you're reasonably close to me. It's much stronger in person when you're close than online.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just awake. That's it. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, it's so obvious. But it's so powerful. It's like there's such an absence. It just, it's like wiped me out.
Yep.
I just wonder, how important is it to practice a lot of what you're teaching? Like how...
You've lost your mind. You're struggling to find the question.
It felt really important.
It's gone, yeah. Just let go, relax. Hello?
Well, when something touches me, I contract. So I wanted to know if I can stay open, if I practice and is it possible that I can stay open even when something touches me?
Everything touches me, darling, and I never close ever, because that would be me betraying my own heart. Everything touches me. Okay? When you're wide open, when you're that vulnerable, everything touches you. And one of the things you'll notice about anyone you've ever met who's awake or seen is they are wide open. Everything touches them. But they don't move because they're surrendered. That's what has facilitated enlightenment in them. Okay? Hello?
Your Buddha energy, does it vary?
Does what vary, sorry?
Your Buddha energy, does it vary? Like,
Yes.
say, that Satsang seems to be very strong. When I see you outside, I don't get that intensity. I don't feel it.
If I have my awareness very in, it is very strong. If I have my awareness very out, it is not so strong. It is still on itself, but it is not so strong. When I'm out in the public, I try to keep it out a fair bit, otherwise it blows people's minds and they can't operate properly. In satsang, I'm fairly in, so it blows people's minds. Does that answer that? Okay. Rishi, hello.
Hello, Vishrant. What is your opinion on NLP, neuro-linguistic programming?
Hello, Rishi. Try talking to me again. We're having internet problems.
Okay. What is your opinion on NLP, neuro-linguistic programming?
I have no idea what you just said. What is my opinion on what? Hey? I used to be an NLP practitioner. It's good stuff, but it's still within the mind. And my job nowadays is to take people beyond the mind, so I don't have much interest in NLP. Anything else?
So it cannot help people to undo their belief system? Or...
Yep. NLP is good for that. Yep.
Another question was, is your experience of enlightenment changed over time since it occurred?
It can't be described, but it is still the same. Nothing and everything. Nothing and everything. But it can't be described. Some people try to call it emptiness, but that's not a good description either, because it is everything. The problem with trying to describe enlightenment is it doesn't have any reference points. And the ego understands everything through sets of reference points. When you're experiencing yourself as the totality of the universe, there's no reference points. How do you describe that? Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Rishi. Hello, Utsa.
Hello, Bhagwan. Bhagwan, has your personality changed after awakening?
Has my personality changed? No, I'm still a ratbag. No, my personality was outrageous before awakening, and it's still that way. Nothing changes. It's just the I disappears completely. Awareness, aware of itself. You look and it's just vast everything, vast nothing. My mind stopped speaking to itself 24 years ago, so I live in silence, as silence and stillness. But in interacting with people, the personality is still there and it comes out the same way. Some people don't like the personality that's here. Fortunately, the personality that's here doesn't care. Anything else?
No, Bhagwan, thank you.
I have a question of you. Why are you not in satsang?
I am having extreme pain today. I have bursitis shoulder, and that pain has gone today from neck up to head, and I'm finding very difficult.
You should have contacted me and we could see about doing something about it.
I took Voltaren. I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
Because you're actually a disciple of mine, you need to talk to me. My disciples who don't talk to me are no longer my disciples.
I thought it is.
See, I was with enlightened masters for, gosh, so many years, but I was there with them. You're playing a very different game. You're playing a different game altogether. If you had have spoken to me, I would have done something about trying to help you. But you're choosing not to talk to me.
Bhagwan, I thought that this is physical pain, and now you don't do naturopathy or something. So I thought that's why I didn't tell you, and I was trying to surrender to it. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. When I was with Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, she couldn't actually talk to the guy because he had 500,000 sannyasins. But when I was with my other teachers, I could talk to them, and I did. My job is to take care of you because you've chosen to be my disciple. But if you don't speak to me, I can't do that. I can't help you.
Thank you, Bhagwan. Now I know that I can talk to you. I will. I didn't know that I should talk about this thing to you.
Everybody else does.
Okay, Bhagwan.
Yeah, you're welcome, darling.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bhagwan. Thanks.
The people who have taken sannyas with me, my disciples, I care for very much because they are my lovers. Not in a physical sense, but in a very pure sense. I love you. Anything else?
No, Bhagwan. Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Pat Pole. What a cool name.
Hi, Vishrant.
Hello.
How are you?
Always the same, Pat. Stoned off my face.
I want to ask you, how come we love?
I'm having trouble hearing you. Your microphone's not close enough to your mouth.
I want to ask you, how come we love?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. What was that? Does anyone pick that up? You want to ask me what? Sorry?
How can we love?
What can we love?
Is that what did you ask how can we love? Oh, you can't. That's not possible. But what you can do, because the I can't love. The I is an imaginary character that is a figment of your imagination. It's made up of reference points that aren't real. The I can't love because love is real and the I is not. But what you can do is facilitate the perception of love by getting out of the way, by being open. And in that openness, you perceive love. And if there is an I still present, the I will claim it because the I loves to claim everything. It will claim that I love. But the truth is the I can't love. Not possible. Something that's imagined can't really love because it's not real and love is real. And so people say they love you. They may very well be experiencing love. Or they may not be too. They might be experiencing primal bonding, which appears like love, but it's not because it has attachment and jealousies in it. Whereas pure love has one quality and only one quality, it loves. That's it. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, your microphone's really not cool, Pat. But your name, Pat Pole, that's so cool. Hello, Zorba.
Hello, Vishrant.
See how much roof we've got. There's a fair bit of space up your head there, Zorba.
You know I'm doing this on purpose so you can tell me off.
Well, I have another way of dealing with it. It's to turn you off and reject you and talk to Susan. Hello,
Hey,
Susan.
Vishrant. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Vishrant.
Yeah, I love it when people try to blackmail me into things. Yeah. You know, the whole world tries to manipulate to get what they want. It's a real bad move to try to manipulate someone who's awake because there's absolutely nothing you've got that they want. They're free. That's the beauty of enlightenment. You are totally free from all attachments. Totally free. And so in going for enlightenment, you're going for total freedom. The problem is the one that's going for enlightenment doesn't make it. The I never wakes up, it just disappears. You find yourself as beingness, and there's a personality in there, but it's really clear it's not you. There's a body there, it's really clear it's not you, it's just an avatar. You are the thing that is aware, and as that you are everything in the universe. This is freedom, and this is your true nature. Anything else, Susan?
Thank you.
We're connected to someone's phone, are we?
No, we're on the roof.
Oh, you're on Vishrant 1. Is that the one to use?
Yes.
Okay. There's nothing I can do about that then. Hello, you're back again. You still got the giggles, eh? It's nice. I like to laugh a lot too. It's nice. Usually when people laugh a lot with me, they end up crying. So see how we go. Laughter sets you free, in a way, from a whole pile of conditioning. It's like a breakthrough into reality, away from the sophisticated you that doesn't want to feel anything. You get more realer. So I love comedians because they help people get real. They help break the mind patterns. So just don't stop laughing, darling. It's beautiful. That's the way. Now, you're muted, by the way, Susan, so I can't actually hear you. Yeah, that's better.
I thought that we were finished. Sorry.
No, we haven't.
I was actually just.
Did you have anything that you wanted to talk about?
No, I actually just came on to face my fear.
Okay, you're very welcome. Very welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir?
Hello.
Hello.
You were very detached from your mind prior to enlightenment?
Yeah. I've been witnessing my mind for 40 years or more. Long time. Actually, not that long, no, about 30 years. That's right. Because I started witnessing my mind when I was a teenager. When you witness the mind, when you develop that silent witness that doesn't judge, you get detachment from the mind, which allows you to see the big picture of everything. Because you don't get caught in the small picture.
Did you experience a sense of freedom?
I experienced a sense of superiority in that. Because I wasn't, like I was ignorant like everybody else. I wasn't in touch with my heart, and I had an advantage. I was detached from my mind, so I was seeing everything that was happening around me all the time. And I was seeing everything that was happening in my mind all the time. It gave me a huge advantage in the material world. Anything else? Okay. Yes.
Was it walking around Australia for 4 years that helped you drop superiority?
Yes, I became humble. I became a nobody going nowhere, which is pretty close to what we are. Any form of superiority is in the way of the heart, and it's in the way of enlightenment. Anything else? Okay. I knew you'd start crying sooner or later, Susan. Pat, you need to take your little yellow hand down so I can get you off the screen. Hey, Rajesh.
Hi, Bhagwan.
Hello.
When you say nobody going nowhere, do you mean like having no goals, dreams, and just a day-to-day existence?
Less than that. You see, the truth is there is no future and there is no past. They are both imagined. And nobody going nowhere is living in the moment. And in living in the moment, having no future and no past, there's a lot of freedom. When we have a future, we're attached to it. When we have a past, we're attached to it. In being in the moment, we are a nobody going nowhere. When awareness finds itself, you discover that you've always been at your final destination, that there was never, ever anywhere to go, and there was never anything to get because you're already what you were looking for. Anything else?
what is this fear of when I think of letting go of the future and try to be here now? Yeah, fear comes up. Why is
Well,
that?
it sounds like it's fear. Okay, so fear is our main survival mechanism. It's what helps us survive. It's our main defense system. And when the unknown presents itself, fear comes into play to protect us from the unknown because it could be dangerous. So this is a natural phenomenon. Someone who's woken up has defeated the survival mechanism of the mind. Otherwise, they wouldn't be awake. Because one of the consequences of enlightenment is there is never fear experienced again. It is gone. The survival mechanism has been defeated in the unconditional surrender of the I. Okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Hello, Susha.
Hi, Bhagwan.
Hello.
Bhagwan, would you say that openness is against survival?
Openness is definitely against survival because in true openness, you are vulnerable, which means you can be hurt. Higher consciousness is really about openness. If you're not into being open, forget about higher consciousness. It simply won't happen. You have a look at anybody you know who's awake. They are wide open. And they are wide open all the time. Otherwise, they wouldn't be awake. My bet is they were like that before enlightenment. It's what helped facilitate enlightenment. All defense systems are in the way. Anything else?
Yes, about victimness, because it closes completely.
Sure. Yep.
And it feels a lot of selfishness. Is that how you see it?
Victimness is simply you blaming something else or someone else or yourself for something. It's you not taking full responsibility that you make yourself feel. So victimness is actually a form of immaturity. Because in maturity, you take full responsibility for yourself. In victim-orientated thinking, you are blaming something else for how you feel. That is not taking full responsibility for yourself. That is immaturity. Anything else?
So that is selfishness in a way, being immature, not wanting to take care of anyone else and just
selfishness is immaturity. That's a fact. Anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go hunting. Zorba.
Hello, Vishrant.
Oh, hello, Zorba.
Hello, sir. Yesterday I went to the dentist and I did some. It wasn't anything too extreme. It was some cleanup, and I have a phobia of dentists because I have a phobia about it. And when she was cleaning my teeth, it was painful, and I had this kind of contraction, this constant contraction, and I was attempting to let go and surrender to that. And at some point, it actually happened. Even though my body was tensed, I just surrendered. It didn't last for long. It lasted for a little bit, but I've never had that before. That kind of like feeling pain and being surrendered to it at the same time. So I wanted to ask you, is there a taste of what unconditional surrender means?
Surrendering to pain or discomfort is one of the ways that we learn acceptance. Acceptance is difficult, actually, because we're not programmed for it. We're programmed to resist life, not accept life. Surrendering to emotional and physical pain is one of the ways we can learn acceptance. And so when I walked around Australia searching for my heart, I wore a pair of shorts, no shoes, and a t-shirt during summer and winter. I surrendered to the cold and I surrendered to the heat. Anything else?
Thank you for coming back to me, Vishrant. Thank you very much.
I wasn't going to leave you out, mate. I was just playing with you.
Is this distance all right?
No. No, not at all. Look how much space I've got above my head, right? That little bit there. You've got so much. Now, look at how much space Rajesh has above his head. It's not much. And Susha. And then look how much you've got above your head. Now, Susha will tell you that this is not rocket science. Because she comes from NASA.
Yes, yes.
Anything else, Silva?
Yes, yes, Vishrant. Yesterday also I saw this amazing video with Byron Katie doing the work with a cancer patient, and it was so beautiful. It broke my heart in a beautiful way, not in a I cried, and it was really beautiful how to see her in action, to see this.
She's very good. What made it work? There was an ingredient in it that made it work. What was it?
This is awake.
No,
this is
nothing to do with her. It was to do with, was it a man or a woman?
It was a woman.
It was to do with the woman. What was the ingredient that was essential for it to work? Would you like me to help you with that?
Yes, please, yes.
It was her willingness. If the willingness wasn't there, it would not have happened. If the seeker is willing, everything is possible. If the seeker is unwilling, nothing is possible. Okay?
Yes, yes. She was definitely willing, yes, yes. And she could see what Byron was showing her.
How would have it turned out if she was unwilling?
She would have been probably angry with her.
So what I'm looking for from you is your willingness. So you can get free, because it is our willingness that sets us free in so many ways. Unwillingness is resistance to what is. It's like us shaking our fist at God and saying, hey, you got it wrong. Well, that just creates suffering in you. That's all that does. Anything else, Silva?
Thank you, Vishrant. Thank you. I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Silva.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
I have a question from a YouTube viewer.
Do you?
Narasimha asks, how to meet despair and overwhelm?
How to what?
How to meet despair and overwhelm?
With acceptance. There's no other way. Acceptance is the key to freedom. Resistance is the key to hell. The more you resist, the more you suffer. If you start accepting, the story ends. This is freedom. Anything else, Tosh?
I think so. I can see Mahan typing.
Mahan likes typing. He used to write long letters to me. I never read them. I'm not into reading. People write long things on YouTube to me and I'm just not interested. It's got to be short and sweet, as few words as possible. Just tell me you don't like me. That'll do. You don't have to write paragraphs about it.
Narasimha also asks, how to go beyond the false self?
There is only one possibility, and it's called enlightenment. There is no other possibility. The false self drops in enlightenment, not before. It might dissipate before by you being in service to others. By the way of the heart, it will dissipate and you'll start finding humility, but it won't disappear. In enlightenment, it disappears. The sense of somebody being here disappears because the I does not make it to enlightenment. It is the only way. And when the I disappears, you have freedom because the prison is the I. Anything else?
Mahan says, I love you.
I love you too, Mahan. Yes.
One more question from Narasimha.
From who?
Narasimha. He's a viewer of yours on YouTube.
Okay.
How to truly accept?
How to what?
Truly accept.
Don't give yourself a choice. If you give yourself a choice, you won't. And it takes a lot of practice to truly be able to accept. It's not something we're programmed for. We're programmed with resistance to survive. We're not programmed for acceptance. It's something you have to learn through practice. I practiced acceptance for years and years and years because I knew it is freedom, whereas resistance is hell. Have a look at yourself. What happens when you resist life? Does it make you feel good or does it make you feel bad? If you tell me it makes you feel good, I know you're lying to me. Now, if you accept life as it is, totally, whatever story you've been running disappears in total acceptance. Anything else, Tosh?
No, thank you.
Hello.
I was wondering if you've ever teared up or cried after enlightenment?
No. I don't experience emotions. I haven't done for 24 years. Frank, I'm free. And I'd like you to become free too. Nothing touches what is here. Not a thing. It was never born and it cannot die and nothing can touch it. And this is our true nature, all of us. Okay? Thank you for Satsang. Good to see you brave hearts here tonight. I think Frank would like to see me tear up. Leave that open. Hello, everybody online, and bye-bye. Good to see you all.